Nice. Let's continue. I changed my wallpaper because the theme and the colors of my Visual Studio Code environment were too similar to my wallpaper. So now I'm gonna have some nice, gloomy forest to look at when I'm not coding. So let's continue. Let's talk about something that's really interesting. It's Django, ORMs, and query sets. So instead of writing raw SQL queries, we can interact with our database using Python classes and objects. And we can do this by, let me open my Terminator, the Terminator. And I need to run my environment. Okay. So what I can do here is the following. I can create new rows in the post tables without any SQLs by only using Python code. First of all, let me maybe just run a script. So this is gonna be, expand this. This is gonna be Python manage py shell. Okay, so I opened an interactive console here. And now I can type lines in which I can create new posts directly from the command line. But first of all, let's talk about what a query set is. A query set is Django's abstraction over an SQL query result. And it's something like a smart list of objects from our database. And it's lazy, it only hits the database when needed. And we can use the query set by chaining filters, paginating, ordering, excluding, and others. So I can maybe do this. I can type in posts. I can call the post objects filter author.user order by publish. This is gonna fail. This is gonna fail on multiple levels. And the first one is I need to retrieve my user. I need to retrieve my user. User equal user objects get username. Admin, even though I'm not admin, I'm the Duke dev. Okay, I got the user. Now if I print the user, I should get some, yeah, I got the user. And now I can run this command again. And now I have two in my query set in which I looked in the post post database results. I'm looking at the objects of the post. I'm filtering it on the user, and the user is myself. And then I'm ordering it by the publish attribute. And I'm retrieving and getting a query set of two elements, having two blog posts here. One of them is new blog post 2 and the other one is new blog post 1. So what's happening here? We can also create new posts as well. I can do post equal post. I can type in title, another post. The slug can be another post. Body can be post body, and the author can be user. Will this fail? It works. So now if I type in posts, we still have two because we need to retrieve it again using this command. And now if I print out posts, I should have three. I don't have three. I don't have three because I haven't saved my new post. So basically what I did, I made a mistake. I created a new post here, but I need to also store it in memory. I need to save it somewhere. So in order to do this, I'm gonna do post.save. And now let me print out posts again. I have three of them. Another post, new blog post, a new blog post. This is the way how Django handles object-based database interactions. Now, I showed you already how I retrieved the user and how I retrieved posts as well. To be fair, some of them were filtered and ordered as well, but I can write this in many different ways. For example, I can say here first post. I can write in post objects get ID1, and the first post will be fist. It's not fist, it's first new blog post. It's the first one that we have in the database, the one that actually has the ID of one, which will basically return exactly one post with this ID. But what happens if I add an ID that doesn't exist? Oh, I got an error. And the error in this case is does not exist error. If you don't have any match, we will get another type of error if there are too many objects to return. I think this type of an error is multiple objects returned. Again, let me rerun this command, which I have somewhere in my... Let's write a new command. All posts. Post object all. Blah, 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 blah. I mistype again. It's supposed to be objects. And now, if I run all posts, we are getting all the posts we have. The difference between this command and the one that we typed in above, in which we filtered posts as well, is not different. And the reason is because all of the posts were created by my user. If we had multiple users, or if some posts were created by someone else, basically we would have different results. But now they are the same because basically all three posts we have were created by one singular user. So let me maybe just expand a bit more on what a query set is. Basically, a query set in Django is a collection of rows from the database. And they are represented as being Python objects. A query set is also lazy. It doesn't fetch results until we use them. And we can manipulate query sets. We can slice them, we can filter them, we can order them, we can also reuse them as well. And maybe we can now write some common query set methods. So what else I could do? I could specific post. I can write post objects filter publish year 2020. And now if I do specific post, what will happen? Yeah, we won't get anything because there are no posts that we published in 2020. We published them this year in 2025. What else do we have? So I can also have title. And look at this, title can have this really interesting filter in which I write lowercase I, meaning case insensitive, contains, and maybe I can write another. And now, if I type in specific post, I'm gonna get this post from the query set that I have here, because it contains another. I could even write it in lowercase. I think it would. I don't think it will definitely work because I have an I here, which filters by case insensitive. Now, what else? What else? I can create another specific post. Let's say specific post 2. I filtered in the examples that preceded, but what if I want to do exclude? What exclude does is returns objects, excluding the ones where we set a certain condition. So if I say here status draft specific post to, it won't work again because we don't have any posts that are in the draft, which is actually good. This just proves that our commands are working. And if you remember, maybe I can find it here in the history. Yeah, this is the command. We have the order by. The order by does what the name says. It orders the posts, and the minus here, as I said, orders from newest to oldest. If we remove the minus, this will order them from oldest to newest. And another thing that I just wanted to mention is we already did it here. We can chain filters with order. We can chain basically commands on the query sets. And we can also delete. So I can do post. Wait, do I have a post? Yeah, I have a post. It's another post. I can basically just write post delete, and if I click enter it will delete them. I don't want to delete it because I need to have a lot of posts for testing and manipulation. I mean we can write a migration script to fill it all automatically later on, but for now I won't delete anything. Now what I mentioned is, I think 2 or 3 times I mentioned that the query set is lazy. So what does this mean? Basically, if I run one of these commands, maybe this one, when I create a query set in Django like this, you might think it immediately queries the database, but it doesn't. Not yet. The query set itself is lazy. It builds the instructions for what to do later. It's an SQL template of sorts. It doesn't go into the database until we evaluate it. Now, the big question here is, what does it mean to evaluate it? So when a query set is evaluated, for example, if we loop, will this work? I think it will. I need to indent it. Can I do like this? Print post title, close it. Okay, so the first way we evaluate a query set is when we loop over it. The second way we evaluate a query set is if we post, I'm misspelling them the whole day. If we create a list out of it, or if we access any element, or the first element. So the moment when Django needs the data is called evaluation. Only then is the SQL query generated and executed. So why is this useful? Because we can chain filters and we can modify the query set as we did. Let me go a bit back, as we did here, without triggering the database. And we can reuse the query sets like Lego blocks. We can delay database access until the last possible moment. All right. Now, there's another concept here, namely model managers. So, what are model managers? Model managers are interfaces Django gives us to query the database to our model. And every model has at least one manager by default, and if you see here, it's the not the whole command. It's only the objects manager. So the manager is actually what creates query sets. So yeah, this is a manager, and the filter returns query sets. So we can also write and create custom managers. Why would we want custom managers? For example, to add custom shortcuts for some filters that we use. of them. For example, to get published posts or stuff like that. So we can write like this. I don't want to interrupt. I wanted to write published posts. I go to post, and instead of object, I'm using published. Then I write all. This won't work because the type object post has no attribute published. So what we need to do now is maybe add or create a custom manager. So if I go to blog and I go to models.py, and now I can write class published managers models.manager. Let's get the query set, and here I can return super get query set, and I can filter on status published. Maybe I could create a new. Okay. So this is so inside here now I can define my managers. I can say objects are models manager and published are published manager. Let me just see if this will work out of the box or if I'm gonna need to reload. Most probably I'm gonna need to reload. Runs. Let me just also run the server. Let me just create one of these guys. One of these guys that are in draft post. Yeah, let's pick myself. Draft post body status draft. If I save it, wait, all of them are draft. No. Wait. This is gonna be published. Published post body, but I forgot to edit it. All right, now if I save it, now let me close this. Let me run the shell, and let's hope this works now. So published, and I can say post published all. Hopefully it doesn't fail. If it fails, we're gonna need to debug it. I have it. Published. So I have only one post here, and it's the published post. So why is this useful? It's useful because otherwise you will need to write post.objects, which is the manager, .filter. We filter it on published every time. Here we can just directly say, okay, I want published post. That's all. One more thing. So if we don't define the objects here, Django will create the model manager of objects for us by default. But if we add any custom manager and we still want objects, we need to declare it explicitly, as we did here. Okay, now let's talk views. Let's talk views. So what is a view? A view is a Python function or a class that takes a request and returns a response. If we were following the MVC pattern, it handles what data to get and how to format the response, either HTML or JSON or etc. any other response format. So if I open blog.views, it's empty now, and I should create a new view. What do I have? I have post published all. Post is not defined because I need to import it from models, import post, and now I can return. What have I done? Import post. Now I can return render request. What do I have here? Blog post list html list.html, and here I have posts. So what happens here? We used our model manager here, which returns all published posts, and here we have a render, which returns an HTML response using given template and context. So what does this mean actually? It means that we provide the request object, that we provide a template path here, and the context variables that we want to render the given template. It's gonna return, if I hover over it, it's gonna return an HTTP response with the rendered text, which is, HTML code. All right, so now we can add a view to this. So here I'm gonna create urls.py, or maybe I can do this directly from the test project, right? Can I do this directly? Yeah, I think I can do it directly from the test project. I don't need to do it. Let me remove this guy. So this is gonna be blog view post view let's do this in I think it's better to do it inside the blog. Where else py? All right, from Django urls import path, from this here import views. Let's create the URL patterns. So it's gonna have a path views post lists name post list, but lists list. So what this tells Django, if a user goes to the empty route, because we haven't provided any route here, we are gonna call the post list views, and we can also create a template. So I can go here, I can create a new folder, I can call it templates. Let's create blog. Let's inside the blog create a post directory, and inside the post directory we're gonna create list.html. All right, but first things first. Remember this URL file that is found in the main project environment, in the main directory here. Basically, we need to edit this as well in order to handle our blog route. So include blog URLs, namespace is the blog. I also need to import this as well. Okay. All right, now let's mention something else. Let's talk about something called canonical URLs. So a canonical URL is the main preferred way for accessing a specific piece of content. It's the main URL for accessing a specific piece of content, like in our case, a blog post. So even if the post appears in multiple places, like homepage and category pages, we want to have one consistent link that always points to the full version of the post. So in Django, this is usually done by adding a method to our model, which is called getAbsoluteURL. So here, this is our models file. I'm gonna go inside my post class, and here I'm gonna say dev get absolute URL on the self. So what will happen is this method will return the canonical URL for the post using the reverse function. And I also need to import the reverse function. It's imported from Django URLs, import reverse. So here we have a named route, which is called post details, and we also can now add some arguments. So what's going to be self, publish, year, self, publish, month, self, publish, day, self, slug. And now I can create a corresponding URL pattern for this. So if I go to blog urls.py, here I can create path, and I can copy all of this. And like I say, views, post detail, name, post detail. I also need a view for this as well, right? Yeah. Here I can create post detail on request. So what do I have here? Post, get. I also need to import from Django shortcuts. I can import get object or 404. So here I'm calling it get object or 404. Post, I have a slug. Status is published. Publish year is year. Publish month is month. Publish day is day. And here I also need to provide year, month, day, post. And the only thing that's left is to return it. Request blog post detail HTML. And also I'm providing data here. Okay. So do we have this now? Post detail, I think we should have them. But there's an error here. Why? Okay. So this is similar, for example, how in React we would probably hard code paths or use a router helper. And Django does this with the reverse and get absolute URL to keep things dynamic. So let's talk about templates a bit more. So they are, where are they? Here. They are HTML files written with a mix of standard HTML and Django's template language. So what do we have here? We have templates, blog post, I have a list here, and now I can write h1, all posts, h1. Now look at this for post and posts. H2 ref post get absolute URL post title. We also need the author as well, and I need to end and 4. So this will be rendered when we return it from our view, and the view that causes this is this one: blog post list, blog post list. So maybe we can run this now and maybe it will work right out of the box. Let's close this. Let's run server. So here, all right, yeah, I think I had an error here. Ooh, it's a big one. So what does it say? Django core exceptions improperly configured. Specifying a namespace in include without providing an app name is not supported. So it's probably here. So what does the error tell me? You are trying to use a namespace in include, but included module does not define an app name, right? So I have blog include, blog URLs. But Django expects something. So I need to go to blog URLs. And here, if I type in app name blog, this line should be enough for namespacing. Everything else we should keep the same. So why is this useful? This is useful because now we can refer to named URLs and we can reference the app name. For example, we can have posts, articles, even though they are more or less the same, but we can have two different applications that have both posts and articles. So now we can reference specifically blog, post details, and articles. Sorry, blog, and I don't know, let's say a newspaper. And here we can have post details as well. So we are basically just referencing when we have multiple apps with similar route names. Okay, now I think it will work. It works. It still doesn't work. Using the URL conf. Django tried using these URL patterns in this order. The empty pad didn't match any of these. Okay, I don't need this for now. Can I go to blog? No. Okay, let's first fix this guy. So we visited this, but Django didn't find any URL pattern that match the root part. Which, to be honest, do I even care? Maybe I can just do this. Now if I refresh it. Okay, so basically what I did now, we didn't have an URL for the empty path. This is the empty path. This is the URL that we usually trigger our Django applications from, and we don't have anything coming after this. So this is an empty path. So now we actually handled that our blog is going to the empty path, but at the same time, I'm having more errors here. Let's see what happens here. No reverse match at this. Reverse for post detail not found. Post details not a valid view function or pattern name. Okay. What does it say here? Okay, this I don't care about this. So what happens here? Somewhere we are trying to generate a URL with post detail, but Django cannot find any URL pattern post detail. So if I go to URLs py, here it is, post detail. Alright, I thought it was as simple as saving it, but no. So if I go here, I should have a URL pattern named post detail. Alright, this works. What do I have in the main project? Namespace blog, this works as well. Let me just see my templates. I haven't created. Wait. What if I comment this out? Post detail. Where the heck is post detail? Post. Okay, I commented this for now. But here we have our first published post. Amazing. Okay, now let's fix the post detail issue. So, okay, let me see this. Where else have I? Here. Will it work now? No reverse match tool. Why? Where are my views? Blog post detail.html. Post get absolute URL post title. It's here. So what is the problem? The problem is that we need to do this. And now if I reload it, now I have a template syntax error. Why do we have it? Where's the model for this? Get absolute URL. I found it. No, you must be joking. Let me try to restart this server. What? All right. Whew, this took a while. Okay, let me just go back on the topic of templates, and I'm gonna come back. So basically, as I said, templates are HTML files. If I go back here, this is a template. They are written with a mix of standard HTML and Django's template language. So I have created here a list template, and as you can see, they have some additional components compared to regular HTML. For example, this. We have template tags, which are used to control the flow or functionality. For example, here we are iterating through a list of posts. We can also create conditionals by using if statements, or we can block content as well. We can also output values, like here. We actually have our post object and we are outputting it here. All right. We can have filters like this guy right here. Basically meaning that we are modifying variables before rendering them. What else do we have? We have we can have at top of our templates, we can have something called load static. Basically, by using this, we are enabling the use of static file paths like CSS, JS, or images using static. For example, if I do this, now I could write image source static image path. All right. So yeah, static is the folder where we place our static files like CSS, JS, and others. And Django collects these for serving. And maybe we could even... okay, so this is the static. We can also have block tags as well. They are named placeholders in a base template that child templates can override. We will mention them later. We also have extend, which means that this template builds upon another template and it will replace any defined blocks inside it. All right, so we'll do this, but let's first maybe add a static file here, a CSS file. Okay, so I have blog. If I add new folder, I can add static. I can add blog. I can add CSS. I can add new file blog.css. Let me copy all of this. Just a simple. Okay, I don't need this. Just a simple style file. And then inside of our list, I'm loading static. And now I can also write link style sheet. And I can write the ref static blog CSS blog CSS static. And I'm supposed to close it, I assume. Okay, now if I save it and if I reload it, here it does not work. Do I need to? Let me just copy this and let me try now. Has something changed here? Let me rerun the development server. Okay, nice. Woo. Okay, now let's add pagination. So currently we only have 4 posts, but if we have 1,000 posts, loading them all at once, it's not very performant. There's a lot of them. It's messy. So pagination will split our results into smaller chunks, usually in groups of 5 or 10 items. So Django has a built-in paginator, basically providing paginator class to help us easily paginate data. So let's add pagination to our post list. So I'm going to blog, I'm going to views.py, I'm going here. We're gonna add the post detail as well. But for now, let's start with this. So, let's get to all of them. All posts, all posts, objects, all. And if I refresh here, I should get, yeah, all 4 of them. Oh, okay, let's create a paginator now. Paginator is a paginator that I need to import from Django core paginator import empty page import page not an integer. So now I can use the paginator constructor. I can say all posts, let's say 3 per page, let's say 2 per page, so I can have 2 pages, right? So page is what? Request, a get request, request, get page. Now, posts, paginator, page, accept page not an integer. In this case, I'm going paginator page. Let's go to the first guy. Let's go to the first guy. Accept empty page. Posts, paginator page, paginator num pages. I'm returning posts. Okay, so paginator dot page, as the name tells it, it retrieves posts for a specific page. If the page doesn't exist or it isn't an integer, it will fall back to one of these cases here. But now we need to create our pagination HTML file. So I'm going to blog, templates, plug, and I'm here gonna add pagination.html. I'm just gonna copy this. So what do we have here? So it's just a class of pagination. We have a span saying, okay, if we are also providing page. So if a page has, oh, I forgot to provide it here. Look, this is great. This is great because I could have run on an error and no one would tell me. Okay, so if the page has previous, we're gonna have a link here saying, okay, page previous page number. This is the current guy, and if it has next, we are going to the next number. And now if I go to list HTML here, at the bottom of this guy, I shouldn't have, I made a mistake, but okay, I'm gonna fix it. So include pagination.html with page. What have I done here? Have I done something bad? Why is this thread? Why is this thread? Why is this thread? I need to add here, right? Why is this thread? It's gonna, yeah, it's gonna break. Why will it break? Mhm, mhm. Ah, I forgot to close it here. All right. Okay, now I have another. Why are you not working? Why are you not working? Ah, I know why are you not working, because I need to put this right here. Okay, page of nothing. Is this broken? Is this broken? Mm. So let's go to our views. Page object. Will this work? No. Why do I need to reload it? No, still doesn't work. Why don't you work, you bitch? Okay. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. Nice. Okay, I think. Ooh. I think I'm done for now. Alright, see you some other time. Bye.